For your assessment task, you're going to have several parts to it. Firstly, you're going to be creating an image similar to this. Now, this is just one of many low poly images that I brought up as inspiration, and there's lots of different types here. So we're going to be creating an image similar to something like one of these here. And secondly, you're going to be creating an animation to go with that. And then finally, you're going to be doing some motion capture. And those three things are going to demonstrate advanced understandings of complex parts of digital media. So to start with, we're going to be creating some models for this. And you can get rid of that there. We're going to add in a mesh, and this mesh is going to be a cylinder. We're going to turn the number of vertices down, probably to about 5. 5 is a good number. And then hit Tab to go into edit mode and extrude this face, but don't pull it up. We're going to scale it outwards. Okay, and then we're going to pull it up to about there and scale it inwards. Then we're going to extrude it again and scale it outwards. Pull it up or extrude it up, scale it inwards. This one here, I'm going to select it and scale it in a little bit more. Oops, scale it in, and then ring select that and scale that in as well. Go back to this face, extrude, scale outwards, but not too far. I want it to eventually come to a point at the top, scale it in, and then this will be the last one. So I'll extrude, scale outwards, up. And for this last one, I've got all those top faces selected. I'm going to hit Control V and then merge at center and pull that top point up. I may have to go into vertice mode and pull that top point up like that. Now, with my tree done here, I'm going to go back into edit mode, and not in edit mode. I'm going to select these vertices down the bottom here. I'll go into edge mode, hold Alt, right click on that. That does a ring select, and I'll scale that point in like that, and then go to face mode, grab that bottom one, scale that in a little bit, but not as big as up top, and pull that down. Okay, so there's our first tree. Go out of that, put it into object mode, set it to the side. For now, add in a new mesh. This is also going to be a cylinder. It should have the same settings as before. Go into edit mode, tab, pull that up, hit A to select the whole thing, scale it down. Now I'm going quite quick because you should be able to do this. You should know these tools by now. I'm going to do a ring. I'll scale that a bit taller actually. So I'll pull that up. Notice I'm not extruding it. I don't want a whole lot of these. Actually, in this case, it doesn't matter because I do want a whole lot of those. So I've got the, what would you call it? The stump? No, the thing that goes up. I don't even know what it's called. That bit there. I'm going to hold Alt, select it, and I'm just going to shift it just a tiny little bit that way. And this one here, I'm going to shift it just a tiny little bit that way. Okay, so it's got some detail to it. Grab this and extrude it up one more time, and I might just move it a slight bit that way. Okay, so it looks like a trunk. That's what the word I was looking for before. Now, with that done, going to, actually I'll add it in here. Add UV icosphere, and I'm going to change its subdivisions to 1 and bring it up the top here. I'm going to scale it up quite big, like that. And I'm going to duplicate it. So Shift D will duplicate, and I'm going to scale that one down like that. Bring that up to there. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave that, scale that one up actually, and scale it along the Z axis like that. I might add an extra subdivision in there, and I'm going to go into sculpt mode and just sculpt some of these faces here. Subtract to bring that top point down. Don't want it to be as sharp. Just deform this a little bit. Hit add. Bring some of the faces out. Okay, and this bit here is to, what would you call it? I'm just going to deselect these. So I'm going to hit P, loose parts, and edit this one here. Hit A, scale the whole thing so it's a lot thinner, and scale it along the Z axis so it's a lot taller. Okay, so I've got something that looks like that. Oops. Keep in mind that now that I'm in, that I was in sculpt mode, tab is going to take me back between those two. So I just need to select one and I'll be good to go back. Select both of those, Control J to put them into one object. There's our second tree. I'm not the biggest fan of that one as I am of the other ones. We're going to make some, I don't like that one at all really. I might see if I can change it later. I'm going to add, make some bushes to go on the ground. This is going to be really easy. Icosphere, 2 subdivisions, tab, full stop on the number pad to zoom into it. And I'm going to scale it up. Bring it to here, go into sculpt mode, and I'm just going to play around with this here. But I'm going to go and hit 5, then 3, then tab into edit mode, turn this off down here, hit A, B, and then select all these bottom faces and hit, not all of them, pretty much just those ones there, hit X, and delete those faces. Then I'm going to hit this, select that with the ring selection, so Alt, and hit S, Z, and type 0. That's going to make that bottom part there flat. Okay, so what I've got here, I might actually make this a boulder, not a bush. Actually, why not make it both? Just change the color on it. I'll go back into sculpt mode. And I'm going to sculpt it a bit. Now, depending on whether I want this to be a rock or a bush, I can just, might need to sculpt those bottom bits out. Okay, so that there could be a pretty good rock. And now I'll tab back to object mode. I'll make a duplicate of that. And I will then go back into sculpt mode and sculpt it a bit more. Okay, so I've got a different type of rock, just a larger rock there. Now this is currently set to symmetry lock, so I might unlock that so I can just sculpt it one way rather than have it repeat on both sides. Can turn the strength up if I need to. This here is the strength. Whoops, not that one. Okay, so there's another rock looking thing, or it could be a bush depending on what I've done. So with that, I'll go back to object mode. I've got 4 different models that I can use. Next video, we'll look at creating the landscape. We're not going to put materials on these yet. We'll put that on at the end. So at the moment, you just want 4 different things in here. We're going to make sure that these, we're just going to put them on another layer for now. So select everything. That one, that one, that one, that one, hit M and move it to this layer here. Okay, these layers are down the bottom. Now we can just work on this layer and not worry about those other things for now. Okay, so we'll scale them up later.